Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings stars Simu Liu as Shang Chi, a martial arts master who finds himself parking cars for a living in America. However, when his past comes back to haunt him, he and his sidekick Katie, played by Awkwafina, travel back to his hometown and back to his family in order to confront his past and the mysterious Ten Rings organization. Well, here we are, 2 months later, and I finally had the chance to watch Shang Chi since, I've been in lockdown for the last 3 months or so. Now, I had a chance to watch Eternals today, which released about a week ago, but I thought, you know what? I'd rather watch all the Marvel movies in order of release date in case Shang Chi had some juicy details relating to the Eternals or something like that. Eternals will have to wait until next week. I mean, it's unlike me to watch movies, at least newly released ones, especially blockbusters, a few days or weeks after its official release date. Normally I always try to be the first one to see it, but I mean, with the lockdown just ending in my city and theaters finally reopening and me having to prepare myself to go to theaters again because the COVID situation in my city is pretty bad, I can't go to theaters every day, which means the next few reviews will get a little bit delayed. And got a lot of movies on my list, starting with Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, I didn't know much about the character of Shang Chi at all. Never read the comics, didn't even know there was a martial artist superhero. So that's the perspective that I'm coming from. And what I got was a thoroughly interesting and entertaining origin movie. First off, let me just say, it's great to see my people shine on the big stage, bring a whole lot of Asian actors to the big screen on such a huge global scale. And you know what? Kind of reminds me to how Black Panther was perceived back when it released in theaters. But I mean, a lot of this movie felt like something that I watched back when I was a kid in China. It hit me right in the nostalgia a bit because some of this movie was told like a traditional Chinese folktale, and a lot of this movie is actually voiced in Mandarin Chinese with English subtitles. The storytelling is great in that way, and the movie doesn't really go in chronological order. Sometimes there are important and interesting flashbacks with character building moments. So there's never really a dull moment. And the action, oh my god. It's been a while since I've seen a Marvel movie, but I was just blown away by how entertaining this movie was. That bus scene, oh my god. That was probably one of the best scenes that I've seen in a movie this year. The action, the badass and holy shit moments, and the humor, my god. Awkwafina plays such a good supporting role in this movie as this goofy and entertaining sidekick to Simu Liu's Shang Chi. Really knows how to lighten the mood, and that's the thing with Marvel movies. They're not only serious and action-packed, but they also know how to throw in a good laugh. This movie more than the average one does. But I have to say, this movie does struggle a bit with the pacing and works like a typical blockbuster flick where it's very entertaining and there's a lot of wow moments in the first and final arc of the movie, but towards the middle it slows down very hard and there's a lot of talking and explaining. See, I didn't really mind it that much because I thought it was pretty interesting, but I can understand if some people thought that it was kind of a drag. Apart from that though, I have to say, I really enjoyed this movie, much more than I would have expected, going into this completely blind, not even knowing who this Shang-Chi character is to begin with. I want an origin story to teach me about this character, his backstory, his friends, his family, and his relationships between each of these characters and what they mean to him. And I got exactly that. There's also quite a lot of emotion jam-packed into this one as well because the theme of family is pretty big in this one. Seeing all these flashbacks to Shang-Chi's life as a kid before America, how his father treated him, how he feels about his father now, and all the events that happen in relation to their family in the movie makes for a pretty emotional conclusion when the time comes. Now, I did find it kind of weird how a martial artist is a Marvel character, like a superhero. Like, I was afraid this wasn't going to be as epic or live up to the expectations of the other Marvel movies, but boy, I was wrong. There's humor, there's action, there's emotion, and there's a huge fucking flying dragon. No, 2 huge fucking flying dragons. What more could I ask for? I'm gonna give Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings an A-. You know what I also like about this movie is how this movie does include some Marvel references and references to where this movie sits in the timeline, although very subtly. Because this is basically like the beginning of Phase 4, right? So there's, for example, a conversation that mentions the snap, you know, where half the population disappears, and there's also interesting posters, I think, and there's also references to other Marvel movies like the 2008 Incredible Hulk movie. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think down below. Like and sub if you enjoyed, and as always, feel free to check out any of my previous videos. Until next time.